You're starting with a basic character window. You can't choose your profession. In Albion, you are what you wear. After a 20-minute tutorial about the basics, you get dropped in ice-cold water. No quests, no help, no informations. When I started Albion 3 years ago, I never felt so lost in a game. I mean, just look at the skill tree. You see all gear leveling, crafting food, gathering resources, crafting gear. You have the Royal Continent and the dangerous Black Zone, where all zones are lethal. In the middle we have the mysterious Avalonian Roads. You can start your journey in different cities or play from all. In the Black Zone you will find more risky content, but also with higher rewards. A lot of guilds calling their Black Zone their home. You can fight in a guild war with 100 versus 150. Every city has its own bank and marketplace where you can sell and buy gear with different quality and tier for silver. Albion offers tons of content. In this video I will try to show you as much as content as possible. Few times a year you can earn different rewards from events. This is a Halloween dungeon where you can drop a special Halloween skin. Arenas are fun if you want to train PvP but don't want to lose your gear. You have to fight to take the shrines. With higher rank comes higher rewards. After an excessive PvP session, you might want to spend some time on one of your beautiful islands and play a farming simulator. Every island has its different boni for different crops and animal products. Every city has crafting stations where you can craft every weapon and gear piece, food or potions. I heard the richest people in the game are crafters. If you feel more to go on an adventure, you can settle your boar and go out for a gathering session, farming resources and enjoy the beauty of Mother Nature Albion. Out of this gathered resources, you can craft gear or you just sell it. The probably most chill content is fishing. You stand still and play a minigame or you get fish as a reward. It's actually not a bad way to make silver, but it's hella boring. To level your gear, you have to do a lot of PvE. As a solo player, you can spam solo dungeons. It's a green lightning dungeon. You can farm mobs, getting loot, more fame, more loot, better fame. You can run higher tier dungeons with higher tier gear, get more loot, etc, etc. If you have friends or you joined a guild, you can go together for group dungeons. This can be in lethal or non-lethal zones. Here we're diving another group, clearing a dungeon. We killed them and took over their dungeon. You can be lucky with the gold chest or get an average green chest. As pro PvE dude, you will do Ava Dungeons. It's the largest group dungeon you can do. This maps you can only spawn in Black Zone, and for the highest tier dungeons you need extremely expensive gear with good specs. Every dungeon has different bosses with different mechanics to clear it. Recommended party size for this content is 20. Next content came out recently, tricking. So Albion is constantly adding new content to the game. You can trick alone or as a group, only in Red and Black Zone. You run around, kill special mobs and follow their track. Sometimes they drop a rare artifact to craft one of the new weapons. All over the Black Zone and Avalonian Roads you can find crystal spiders. As they are seen on the map, it's always a potential for a fight. If you wanna be part of something big, join the VZ Guild. I've been in 100 versus 100 fights, 20 versus 20, 60 versus 200. In the Black Zone you have always objectives you can fight for. Here we're claiming a castle. For these fights you have usually one shot caller who's playing a frontline tank. You have sometimes 2, 3, 4 teams fighting against each other at the same time. The healers try to heal their team to keep them alive. The tanks try to keep the enemies away and on distance. The DPS tries their best to kill the enemies. And the supports giving their best to not their people die. If you don't pay attention here, you can die in literally 1 second. Only a handful of players can enter this portal every 10 minutes. You can find this all over the maps and it leads to full loot PvP zone. Here you can spend time with a small amount of players, or you can just go solo. Green chests are for 1 to 3 players, blue chests are for bigger groups, and gold chests are for more advanced group PvE sessions. In the Outlands your guild can build a hideout. It's like a home for your guild in the Black Zone. It can get attacked, you can defend and attack other hideouts. If you're craving some solo PvP, you will find these red shiny stones, corrupted dungeons. You can decide between non-lethal and lethal dungeons. There you can mess an intense 1 versus 1 your skill versus other players. You start to clear a path and wait until you get invaded or you invade your enemy dungeon. Mists is like an open world corrupted dungeons, but more magical. Also, your gear is not being kept. You will find some PvE and a lot of PvP content. Here you have a lethal and a non-lethal option given. If you're tired of dying alone, you want to get a friend so you can die together. Here you have a Hellgate. There are different versions of Hellgates, a 2 vs 2, a 5 vs 5 and a 10 vs 10. In these dungeons, you can show your PvP skill and grind the infamy ladder. After being addicted for Albion for about 3 years, that's about 7,000 hours, I wonder why this game has not more attention. Maybe it's the graphic or the complicated story, but if you find your way, your favorite weapon, a guild, or you become a corrupted player #1, everything is up to you. In Albion, you are what you wear.